Okay. So in the last session, we took a look at an overview of Firebase and how to get started with it, how to set up Firebase to your Flutter application, and yeah, that was on our last session. We also did something on Firebase authentication, where we're able to authenticate users using Firebase. So in today's session, we'll be tackling Cloud Firestore and cloud storage. So clouds, basically it will be Firebase database and Cloud Firestore. So for Firebase database, we have two provisions. We have the real-time database, which is kind of being deprecated, and the Cloud Firestore. So the real-time Firebase is a cloud-hosted database which stores data as JSON and which kind of syncs the data between the server and between the Google servers and the devices connected to the client. When you build the apps with Android, iOS, and JavaScript, basically Firebase is made to work on iOS, the web, and Android. So when you build the cross-platform apps with iOS, Android, and JavaScript SDKs, JavaScript SDKs, the SDK for JavaScript is the SDK for the web, the Android SDK, and the iOS SDK. All of the clients share one real-time database instance and automatically receive updates with the newest data. So, yeah. So that's it for Firebase real-time database. Google are recommending users to people to migrate from people who previously were using the real-time database to migrate to Cloud Firestore because it's a better version of the database, more revised and thing. So Cloud Firestore is the mostly used database and is the recommended database, Firebase. It's recommended over the Firebase real-time database. I'd also recommend anyone using the Firebase database to use Cloud Firestore instead of real-time database. Cloud Firestore allows users to query and structure data the way you like. This is because it allows you to structure like your data easily with collection and documents. Basically, the way Firebase stores data, Firebase Firestore stores data is in collection and document format. We'll take a look at that more in the demo I'll be doing. As you can see, we'll be having like a kind of a tree structure where you have collections and documents inside collections, documents inside collections. Basically, it's like a folder structure containing the data and the properties. Firebase Firestore allows you to sync data across devices on or offline. So Firebase database Cloud Firestore has the provision to allow you guys to sync data between devices, be it web, Android, or iOS, which basically means the data will be able to be synchronized and be able to be shared. The same way, by synchronizing, I mean like data will be able to be shared and be displayed. The latest data will be able to be displayed correctly throughout the apps. A good example is when you're using like a WhatsApp web to message people. As you can see that you'll find that the messages you send from the browser will be able to be reflected in the messages you'll be able to send from the mobile. So basically, that's basically what synchronization means. And that's what happens with Firebase Firestore. Firebase Firestore allows you to scale globally because it's powered by Google storage infrastructure. As you can tell, as we all know, Google is such a big company with such a global company which supports a lot of servers and stuff. So it's built to scale your business. You can focus. Basically, it reduces the effort you'll use to spend on the effort you'll spend on managing servers and just focus on building your app and worry about consistency. It has a strong user-based security. Since we tackled Cloud Firestore, Firebase authentication in our previous tutorial, in our previous session, using Firebase Firestore, you can be able to log to authenticate users into using the database differently. So you can set up Firebase Firestore rules so that users can be able to access the data only if they are authenticated into the app. So that's the end of my presentation on Firebase Firestore. So let's jump right into it. Let's just jump into the practical part of it. So as you can see, I'm not yet updated to Windows 11. Yeah, but no, I'm not yet updated, but once it's available, I'll update to it. So console, let's go to the Firebase console, and let's see it. The Flutter Friday project. This is the project we created in the last session. Connected the Flutter Friday Android app to the Firebase. And we did Firebase authentication. So in the left sidebar, why is it not expanding? Okay, we have Firebase Firestore. Let's start here. We have Firebase authentication. Now we have Firebase Firestore. What's happening? Cloud Firestore. So let's just go and create a database. Start in production mode. When you start in production mode, it will be able to limit the database to be only accessed if the users are authenticated. In test mode, it will allow you to test. Sorry, my network kind of disappeared for a little bit, but I'm back.
Okay.
Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So as I was saying, before my internet decided to misbehave, we'll start creating the database in so that we can be able to test it. So after you set this location, you cannot change it later. Also, this location setting will be the location for your default cloud storage bucket. So select your location. You have to select the location closest to you based on your geographical location or based on where your app will be used mostly. This will enable like your app to be faster and stuff. So in this case, you can't use US Central. You can use regional. You can use regional, and let's use. We're closer to Asia South. Asia South is basically India, around India, so we're closer to Asia South. You can just use any storage bucket, but it will determine the speed in which you'll be reading and data. So, as it's provisioning the Firebase Firestore Cloud Firestore, as it is provisioning, let me just ask you guys, maybe Sandeep and Elizabeth, for how long have you guys been doing Flutter or something?
Just learned a little basics and I made an app. That's it. It's my experience in the Flutter. And in future, I want to use more about Firebase and hence edge of this. I already know some basic knowledge, so I just want to recall all my basics again. That's it.
Thank you. What about Elizabeth?
I am a beginner, so I'm still like trying to understand how to incorporate, Firebase in my applications.
Okay, thanks. Okay, collections failed to load. What's happening? Um, yeah. So maybe to give you guys a few, maybe for me, I can't say that I'm really experienced in Flutter, but I've been doing Flutter maybe since it basically came out. I finished school last year, so in around my third year something, that was when Flutter was being announced, and I happened to be online while they were announced. So and I tried it out and I liked it. I've never looked back. Okay. Let me just show you guys how the database will be. You use a collection for if you guys have with SQL databases, a collection is basically like a table which contains a document. A document is like the row for the table. Let's give it an author ID, a field, let's give it a name. So another field, age 50. That's not my age, but yeah, I can't reveal my age to you guys. Alafu height. Okay, let me tell you. So as you can see in this, we have this user collection which contains the document, which has this ID. This is basically the ID. This is basically the primary key, which will be used to identify this user Sam, whose name is Sam. You can create another document. Let's give it random ID. Name, age, 70. There should be a number, height, 170. I have another field, Ivy, whose height is 170, whose age is 70 years. And me, whose height is 181, my age is 50 years. So that's basically how data is stored in Firebase.
Bro, you have stored age as string in this document, and in another document, you stored age as a number.
Hello? Can you repeat your question?
Okay. In this document, age 50 is stored as string, and in another document, the age 70 is stored as a number.
Oh, yeah, I can maybe fix that. Okay, sorry. Let me just change this to a number.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that. Let's also set the height to be a number. And in this, let's also make the height to be a number. So if we come into our app, let me start my emulator. The emulators kind of are buggy nowadays, so let me just cold boot it so that you can be able to test with it. Okay, so as our emulator is starting, maybe I can also ask you guys another question. So maybe in how do you guys find Flutter? What do you think of Flutter? Like just anything. You can just say anything. Maybe we can start with Elizabeth this time.
Okay, I think that you can be able to, sync data across devices and like platforms. It's really catchy for me when it comes to it. Yeah, when it comes to Firebase. And what I like about Flutter is the fact that you can have code base for the same code base for different platforms. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think that's true. That's very true. I can even show you guys a sample app. We have this Flutter Gallery application, which is basically an app made in Flutter, a Windows application made in Flutter, just to demonstrate like a Flutter application. So you can see this kind of a stocks application. It's very responsive and go trying application. It's basically like a shopping application. The reply is basically like an email application and stuff. You can be able to type. It's just like they're basically demos for you guys for people to test and see how Flutter performs on Windows. And yeah. So what about Sandeep? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yeah, it's okay. I just started my mobile development in Flutter itself. Actually, some people suggested that instead of using native languages both for Android and iOS, different languages, using Flutter will be helpful. So I just learned this only.
Okay. Okay, I think that's nice to hear from you guys. I think Ivy is on and off the call, so I think we'll just go on. Yeah, Flutter is a really nice tool for app development, and yeah, its popularity is growing every day. We've seen more and more companies are adopting it. Yeah. Ivy, can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you,
Okay.
but not through my phone.
Okay. So I'll be waiting. Let's just wait for it to build. And yeah. So let me ask, which operating system do you guys use to code? Sandeep?
I use Android Studio.
The operating system?
What?
On Windows or on Linux or on Mac?
Windows.
Okay. What about Elizabeth?
I also use Windows.
Okay.
You can recommend to us which one is the best.
Now, I'll recommend Windows because Windows is just like the most familiar OS. I'd recommend. As you can see, I'm also using Windows. Yes, I'm using Windows. So, how about you, Ivy?
I use Windows.
Okay. I saw a poll somewhere that more than 80% of developers use Windows. So, yeah. So let's just create a sample page which we'll use to read the data from Firebase. So read data extents that let's read it. Let's change this. Let's change the home page for the app to be. So we'll use this page to read the data from Firebase, the data we just stored. And scaffold. Okay. It is so this the data we just created, and the data we just created, and collection. We have a single collection called user with 2 documents with this. So just give me a minute. Okay. So let's give it a body. First, to read the data from Firebase, we'll have to use a stream builder. A stream builder is basically a widget which gives us like a continually listens for changes, maybe from the backend and stuff. So I think that's what we'll use. Builder. Let's define the stream. Stream is a Firebase instance stream. So Firebase Firestore dot instance dot collection. What's the collection name? User, we call the user. That's snapshots. Okay. So basically it will be reading from the Firebase Firestore instance collection, the user collection, to just be listening for any changes and display the data accordingly. String builder, Firebase Firestore instance collection in the builder. Builder takes 2 arguments. The context. And, the second argument is the snapshot. Asynchronous snapshot, which is a query snapshot in the name of in the case of Firebase Firestore. In this case, you can list file. List file. The title should be snapshots document data document Let's the documents. I don't know what I'm missing. That map. Okay, the documents that map. Since I'm having trouble just trying to enter it, and the good thing is we can always go back to the documentation, and which is very important. So in our case, let's use cloud. This is the packages I'm using to access the Cloud Firestore plugin Flutter. I've installed the package there, the app, so you can just read the documentation. Let's see. Let's see. And now I've seen how I'm going to do that. Let's create a conditional statement. If snapshot has data, and that else and let's just run a center text, which not where there is of that. No data. There is no data in the database. If we have data if we have data in the snapshot, we can do this. We can return list view builder, item builder, context, index. So basically, a list view builder is a dynamic list which returns like a list according to number of items, the number of items that you have passed. So it doesn't really have a specific number. So it's a dynamic list, which will be which when we have like a new list, a new item on the list, we just add the item down in the list. So here to return, let's run a list type. Title, the text, the data, snapshot, dot data, dot document, index, what are we looking for? The name. Let's just save it. No data. Okay. We're getting an error. Have a range error index, invalid value, not inclusive in the range 0, 1, 2. So, user. Let's go back to our database and see what's wrong. Database called user. Have the documents, the two documents. So the range error index, invalid value, not inclusive in the range. 0, 1, 2. I don't know what's up with it, but as you can see, guys, the names Ivy and Sam have been displayed here. As you can see, I don't know why I have this error. Let's just add another document so that you guys can be able to see as the document changes. So let's give it I hope I'm still audible. Sandeep and Elizabeth.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So let's just add another document. Let's give it a field. The name would be Elizabeth. Age, number, age, height. I'm writing the wrong spelling for height, but I'm just sticking with it. 190. Once I save it, you see like the data appears on the phone immediately as it's saved. It appears there in real time. This works well if you're building like a chat application where you have like you want instant messages and stuff. So
I think the error is the list view builder should be having the list count, item count. Is it the error? Generally, list view builder will be having a item count, right?
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Item count will be snapshot that document data. And for that, Sandeep, I'm using these null checks, the exclamation mark to just these are basically null checks in that which they have been pushing for recently. They want like it's null safety for null safety. So just to make sure that we don't have null values. That's basically what it is. As you saw there, like once I create a new data item, it appeared there directly. You can create another one so that just to put more emphasis on the point. Name, age, height. I save it immediately. It will appear in the app. As I said earlier, this comes in handy when you need real-time data, yeah. Basically, if you're working with dashboards where we have like, for example, if you have a dashboard which continuously monitors the state of maybe something, and you can use the Firebase Firestore for that, chat applications, and just many applications. Also, once I edit the name, for example, if I edit this name Sandeep and put maybe like a space right there, if I update it, you can see in the app, it will work. It will just sync directly. If I change the name, Sam, we'll just do that. And that's the power of Firebase. That's basically what Google use on their own servers, and just sourcing it out for people to be able to use on their own applications to scale their applications. Of course, at a price, but if your app is still small, you can use it for free. Okay. So that's it. So I've shown you guys how we've been able to read the data from. We've been able to read the data from Cloud Firestore. So how are we going to write the data from our app? So let's just go back to our code, and let's just create a button, routing action button. So on pressed, let's just create a method called add data. It is. Let's make the method asynchronous so that we can be able to wait for some events to happen. Store data. This is how we store data. Firebase. Just call the Firebase Firestore instance. Collection. You can add directly to a specific collection. For example, you want to add it to the user collection. The user collection dot document. You can give the document an ID, or you can just leave it blank. If you leave it blank, it will add a random ID, and that add. But set data. That is the map, and set name. Give it the value right there. Height, and give it the value right there. And age, and give it the value right there. In this case, let's use age 23, height 181, name string some. And save it. And once I press this icon, it will add the data. And as you can see, we have Samuel. Sorry for. Do you guys? Okay, am I allowed to speak Swahili? It's Sandeep. You understand Swahili? Hello. Okay, let me
Repeat the question.
Hello.
What did you ask?
I said something Swahili, so I was trying to understand Swahili. But I'll just use English. As you can see, once I click the button, the name Sam will appear right there, and the new data was created. So let's just create another data item, age 2, height 18, name. Let me save it. And let's just observe from the database, from the Firebase console. Once I click that, you still have a new data item, this one, which appeared. As you can see, some height 18, age 2. So that's the beauty of Firebase. The data is real time. And yeah, and once I delete this collection, the entire data, everything will disappear, and yeah, we'll see nothing. And once I click on that button, it will add the data, and yeah, it has appeared on the device. We're just waiting for it to reflect. I think we have to refresh. I can see there it is. So that's basically how you can write data and read data from Firebase. Okay. The data can be accessed in any form you want. I can advise you guys to just go through the documentation, to go through this documentation and read about it. In the Firebase, in the Firebase documentation, they have a full Firebase for Flutter documentation, Cloud Firestore documentation, and you can be able to go through this. It's very easy to learn and to read about it. Able to read the data one time read. So I've shown you guys how to read and get the real time changes, the snapshots and stuff. And yeah. So in the next case, let's go to Firebase. Let's go to Firebase Firestore, Firebase storage, cloud storage. So an overview of cloud storage. Storage is designed to help you quickly and easily store and serve user-generated content, such as photos and videos, but not limited to PDFs and stuff. You can basically store anything. Using Firebase storage. So Firebase storage, let me give you a scenario where you can be able to use Firebase storage. For example, if you're creating a social media app, let me use an example of Instagram. The data about users and stuff, they can be stored in the Cloud Firestore. And the images, videos, and other media can be stored in the Firebase Cloud Storage. And they can be synced together. See what we're going to do. And let's just do something about it practically, because I think it will be understandable more if we do a practical. So onto our app, there it is. Let's create another page. Call it storage. Let's set the storage page as the home page for the app. So let's return a scaffold. Let's also use a floating action button. And once it has been pressed, let's just upload the image. Give it a child and an icon. Icons.add. Let's get this method. So how I want us to do it is once I click this icon, it will lead me to my gallery where I can pick the image and upload the same image to Firebase. So let's do it. First of all, let me load some images into the device. I think I have some images in my downloads. Those are 2 images. I think that's enough. Let's go back to our code. Let's first create let's first pick the file. Let's get a variable called picked image equals to await image picker dot get image. The source, let's use image gallery. Let's get the image from the gallery. You can get the image from the camera or from the gallery. So let's just use the gallery and copy the image here. So once I click this button, it will lead me direct to a gallery. I can be able to pick the image. Yeah, let's pick this image of the Flutter image first. So the image has been picked. Where's the image? There it is. We're not showing the image for now, but okay, we can display it. We can show it. Yes, we can. Let's just show the image. In the body of the scaffold, body. Let's just use image. Let's create a variable. Let's import. So let's just initiate the picked file as an empty file, a file which doesn't have anything in it. Once the image has been picked, let's set the state of the picked file to be this is just an error for. You can just keep it for now. Let's center the image. Just center the image. You can see how this error where bad address, have a bad address for the image. So let's just pick another image. Let's just pick the marshmallow image. Once I pick it, it will appear here. So this is the image that I've picked. So let's store the image after setting the state of the picked image to be that. Let's store the image to Firebase storage. So how are we going to do that? So let's just go back to our documentation. So basically, guys, what I'm trying to say is that the documentation is very important. You can't memorize everything. That's why you have the documentation. The documentation is very important because it will help you to understand how things are done. You basically don't have to memorize everything. You just have to go back to this documentation and read about it. Let's go to the usage section. Of the storage. So let's see how we're going to store the image. Let's to uploading the images to the storage bucket. Okay, this is the which we'll use to upload the file on Firestore. So let's just copy that. Basically, what I'm trying to do is to tell you guys that the documentation is very important. Yeah, so always rely on the documentation. If always rely on the documentation, it will always help. It will help. No one is. I don't think anyone should be able to. Should just cram all these the documentation. We basically don't have to also have the documentation. Actually, we are living like the way we are living like currently in 2021. It's so easy to do these things because we have the documentation. So yeah, let's as you can see, okay, let me just remove this code. Wait Firebase storage.firebase.storage.instance.reference. The reference is basically the folder where we upload the image. That's the folder name. Let's just say images. And let's give the image a name. First of all, let's create the image. Let's give it a name. For the name, let's just use the name of the image. Let's just give it a random name. Let's just say image dot png. That's basically the name that will be used to upload the image. Let's just confirm how the image was saved. Yeah, this image is a JPG file. So let's just use the JPG format for that. File image. After successfully uploading the image, let's print or let's show a dialog. It will just return an action sheet. So basically, after uploading the image, we'll show a dialog which says success. Okay. So let's do it again. Let's look for the image. Let's take the same image. We have an error. The storage exception has occurred. The user does not have permission to access this object. So for storage, we have to set up the storage. So let's just go back to the Firebase console. So the Firebase storage, there it is. Let's see the rules. As you can see, we have these rules for the storage, which basically allows users to access the Firebase storage service only if they are authenticated. So you can just remove this option, make it open, so that you can be able to upload the images without needing the permission to be authenticated first. But you need to be authenticated if you make a production app. You try to make sure that you're authenticated. Let's use the same image. There it is. Please sign in before trying to get a token. Okay. We have an error, so it kind of asks us to sign in first before we get the storage token. So I guess we're stuck with how to log in first. So in our last video, we created the login page, so we won't have to go back to it. So we already have users in the app, or let's just get a new user. Let's get a new user. Let's Elizabeth. The email is Elizabeth. Email. The password. Let the password be Sandeep. Okay, that's nice. When you go to our Firebase console, the authentication part, we'll find that we have elizabeth@gmail.com as a user. There she is. So let's just log in with the same credentials. And after logging in, let's go to the let's go to the after logging in, let's go to the upload image page. So let's see what error is being thrown. Okay. Let's just go to the login method. There it is. Logging in. Ask the user to to the upload image page. What's it called? Storage page. Let's pass a context for this. So once the user has been logged in, once the user has been logged in, he will be directed, he or she will be directed to the next page, which is the storage page. So the email was elizabeth@gmail.com. Password was Sunday. Exactly. Now this has been logged in. Let's pick the image, that image, and let's upload it. Okay. Now I'm talking for the request. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, there it is. Uploaded the file. As you can see, guys, as I uploaded the file, we've been able to get it. Been able to upload the file into Firebase storage, and this file can be able to be accessed through the links. For example, in this case, you can just paste this link in a browser. It won't really open it, but basically you can use that link to get the image. And yeah, that's basically how we'll be able to use Firebase storage and in Flutter. So you guys how can be able to upload it, and the same way you upload it, you can just be able to retrieve it. Yeah, and I'll continue to insist on that. Documentation is very important. The team at Google created the documentation for a reason, so that it can give you guys, can give the users like a reference point where they can be able to see where the data is and stuff. Be able to navigate through the Firebase, the different Firebase stuff, and yeah. So I think that's it for me. If you have any questions, you can just waste your time. Any questions? Elizabeth asks, do we pay for Firebase services? Let me answer that. So let's just read this. Let's just read this together. Firebase has both on the free plan, the pay as So on the free plan, you can be able to use phone authentication for 10,000 requests per month. Phone authentication, like 10 requests per month. Firebase, Firestore, you can be able to store 1 gigabyte of data for the free version, or you can pay 18 shillings, Kenya shillings, around 20 Kenya shillings per GB. And the network, 10 gigabits per month. So basically, we have a free plan and we have the paid plan, the pay-as-you-go plan. So the free plan is fully sufficient if your app has a small audience. If you have like a small app for a small audience, you can use the free app, the free plan, but you'll be limited to not using things like cloud functions, Cloud Vision APIs, and more complex stuff you won't be able to use them. But you can be able to use Firebase for if you have a small audience, you can be able to use the free version well. And once your app grows, so that you'll be able to start needing all these new features like the Blaze plan and stuff, which there are more features that are supported from the Blaze plan and stuff. That basically means that your app will be big enough, and basically you'll be making money out of it. So you won't really lack the money to pay for that, and it isn't that expensive compared to normal servers. It's kind of expensive, but it's easier to maintain, and yeah, I think I've answered you, Ivy. You can be able to use the free version of Firebase for smaller, if you have a smaller app or if you have a smaller audience. But once your audience grows to maybe to a certain amount, you'll have to go to the Blaze. But if your app reaches the level that you can be able to, you need to use the Blaze plan. The Blaze plan, I think, you'll be able to make money from it. It will be big enough for you to be able to make money from it, a lot of money from it. Yeah, I hope I've answered you. Let me know if it was clear. Okay. Any other question?
Will this webinar happens every week, every Friday?
Ivy can answer that.
Hi. The session happens every other Friday, like after every 2 weeks. So the next session will be after 2 weeks. I can send you our WhatsApp group link so that you can join and maybe get more updates on the session.
Yeah, nice. Is there a WhatsApp group or any other group?
Pardon?
Is there a WhatsApp group?
Hello, Sandeep, we can't really hear you. Maybe you can type. Oh, okay, that's the WhatsApp group. Okay, so any other question? Okay, so thank you guys for today. I didn't get to introduce myself. My name is Sam. I'm a Flutter developer. Basically, currently, let me just share my LinkedIn profile with you guys. My LinkedIn profile. let me just go through guys. You can check me out right there. I'm pretty experienced in Flutter and Google services. So just if you need my help or something, or maybe you can need assistance, or if you need some mentorship on maybe in Flutter, like in Flutter projects and stuff, you can just send me a message right there or on my Twitter, which let me just send you my Twitter profile name. What is it? How can I copy the link? Sorry guys, I'm having a neighbor. So, just give me 30 seconds, I'll be back. So I was sharing with you guys my Twitter profile. I think you can just search for that. But let me just get that's my Twitter profile. You can just message me right there, and I'll be able to respond almost immediately. Or you can also email me at those. You can message me on those platforms, even Instagram. I'm always online, so you can message me anytime if you have an issue in Flutter specifically. And Google services, for example, Google Maps, Firebase, and yeah, basically, and Google Cloud stuff. So you can just yeah, hit me up. So thank you guys for today. Thank you guys for today, and yeah, I hope to be back here soon to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sam, and goodbye to all. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
And weekend.
Thank you.